welcome to Inside Magazine. I'm David Matlin. Well, 5 years ago, on January 12, 2010, Haiti, one of the poorest countries in the world, was devastated by an earthquake. Thousands of buildings were destroyed. Over 200,000 people died. Our reporter, Nadav Neuhaus, was there just 24 hours after the disaster. He discovered the horror, where in the aftermath, many young women and girls were raped in the temporary camps where they sought refuge. Many of them became pregnant. Well, 5 years on, and only a few days ago, Nadav went back. How did Haiti rebuild itself, and how did these women survive the trauma? Well, he found them for us. Haiti, 5 years later, the raped children. An exclusive report by Nadav Neuhaus for I-24 News.
I am a young person. I have this child and there is no one to help me with him. BG, come in, come in.
It's a child that God wants present. I accept my life with her in it.
I'm not mad. Sometimes I think about it, but I don't think about it all the time.
Today we found Kenna, Nadine, and little Venice. They've grown up. 5 years ago, they had dreams of their own. They were young, living with their parents in Port-au-Prince. They wanted to go to school and study, but that was before. Before the earthquake, before they lost everything, before the rapes. On January 12, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake rocked Haiti and leveled the city of Port-au-Prince. More than 200,000 people were killed. An estimated 1.5 million people were left homeless, including Kenna.
During the earthquake, my mom died beneath the rubble. My dad's legs were broken and he went to the countryside.
After the earthquake, Kenna searched for her mother in the rubble. That night, she joined tens of thousands of others in makeshift camps around Port-au-Prince. Without the protection of her family, she was easy prey for the gangs that would take over the camps.
A bunch of young men were running after me. They said, "Look at this beautiful, sexy girl." They put a black bag over my head. When they were done raping me, I was able to see how many of them raped me. Around 15 of them. They took their time with me, each man. Some raped me once, some twice.
Nadine Josil was 19 and a new mother when the earthquake hit in 2010. She lost her father, 3 of her siblings, and the father of her baby. In the camp, she didn't even have a tarp, just a sheet propped up on sticks.
They just walked in on us. They pulled on the sheet and I said, "Who is it?" They said, "You'll find out soon." They just ripped the sheets and put tape over our eyes. They raped me first, then my cousin. There were 6 of them. After I was raped, they told me I was pregnant.
La Piste was a violent camp. The victims were not only young women, but also little girls like Venice. She was 11 years old when we met her in 2010.
My oldest daughter is Venice. They raped her.
She was raped by a man who told her that he gave money to her mother to do it. He raped Venice a few times, and finally she asked her mom why she let him touch her. Isma was outraged and had the courage to report the rape. She got medical care for her daughter, but no real results in the legal system. When we first met Kenna, right after the earthquake, she was 4 months pregnant from the rape. She couldn't afford to go to a doctor. She tried unsuccessfully to abort the baby on her own.
I drank some remedy. Friends gave me some. And there was a pill I was forced to buy so that I could get rid of it. The child wasn't able to be aborted, so I kept the rapist's child. What's wrong with him?
You have to rub his back after you're done breastfeeding him.
Like this?
Yes.
La Piste, the notoriously dangerous camp where we first met Kenna, Nadine, and Venice, was torn down by the government more than 2 years ago. 5 years later, we came back to Haiti to look for them. The rubble had been cleared away, and we didn't know in what state we'd find them. Today, BG is 4 years old, and Kenna is an experienced mother. But the rape is hard to forget.
Every time I see my child, I think about the rape. It's a rape crisis that made me have him. Every time I see the child, I cry, because this is not how I should have had a child. I have this child, but he is in misery. And he needs to be fed. Sometimes I sent him to school without a lunchbox. I've been humiliated. Now I have to beg for money, which I didn't do before, when I need to buy soap so I can wash the child. Sometimes I spend weeks unable to give him anything. When he gets to a certain age, I will sit him down and tell him about the circumstances in which he was born. He is a product of rape.
Five months after we met Nadine, Clara was born. Today, the family lives in the Cité Soleil neighborhood of Port-au-Prince, but they're struggling to get by.
In this 5 years that have passed, I've suffered a lot. The only good thing that happened to me as a child, one that I got under a tent due to rape. She's my blood. Even though she's a product of rape, she's also my blood. That's why I love her.
Nadine is also caring for the daughter of her sister, who died of illness 4 months ago. Sometimes, when there's no work at all, they all go hungry.
This morning, I have not given the children anything yet. Last night, they slept in the same state. I don't even have water to bathe them. I can't even afford a bucket of water. Sometimes when I don't have anything to feed the children, I go out and prostitute. Sleeping with someone for 50 cents, €1. They don't even do anything for me. Sometimes I go and do it and I cry during the whole thing.
Like Kenna, Nadine feels isolated. The area where she lives is unsafe, and she's worried that what happened to her could happen to her own children.
It's really hard. Where I live, they rape kids as young as her. I'm afraid because I'm in the house alone with the children. They've tried to open this door so many times. When I'm sleeping, I hear people struggling to open the door.
The environment around Nadine makes her fear for the worst, nightmares of what happened to Venice and her mother Isma. But today, thanks to the courage of this mother who decided to report the incident, the family can live with more dignity. Nothing happened to the rapist, but that allowed them to receive medical care, and authorities relocated them to a new camp. There, they got the chance for a better temporary place to live.
It's always in my thoughts. To see that she's only a child and that happened to her. I was living in a camp that was very dangerous, and I was able to leave it and come live here.
What used to happen to me at La Piste does not happen to me anymore. I'm safer. This place doesn't make me feel insecure.
Kenna moved to a temporary shelter nearby. She lives with her boyfriend and his young son, but there are no prospects for work, and their house, which is made of plywood and siding, is starting to rot and crack.
I don't see any change. On the contrary, things got worse. We are still living in misery. Now that I don't go out, I can't encounter men that would be able to rape me. I only stay inside. I don't go out. I don't want people to talk about what the rapists did to me. I don't want them to bully me, calling me the wife of a rapist. I feel ashamed, and that's why I never go out.
I don't see much change in my life. Actually, it seems like the suffering has increased in my life. My biggest challenge is the children not attending school. The other kids bully and hit them. Sometimes they're walking and other children hit them.
If you don't attend school, it's basically like you're not part of society. For example, I would like to be a principal, the principal of a school. I want to help kids. If the parents don't have the means, I'll assist the parents. For example, this principal sends you back home if you cannot afford to pay.
The world donated a lot of money after the earthquake, but forgot the island in the last 5 years. And countries that help Haiti are not interested in a long-term project, a project where they can't see the results immediately. For now, the fate of this desperate country is in the hands of its people.
Yes, he brings me a little hope because he is a little boy and he is attached to me. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. Maybe he will become a president or a prime minister. This gives me great hope.
We're now joined by Nadav Neuhaus in Haiti for this assignment. Nadav, good to have you with us, although with a tough story. Well, first, we saw in your report how these women, each one in her own way, either did or did not overcome the trauma they endured. It's been 5 years now. Can you still feel the collective trauma in Haiti?
Everyone is traumatized from the earthquake in Haiti. Everyone lost a member of a family or someone that you know, even his house, during the earthquake. What is interesting is that people here don't mention the word earthquake. They mention the date, 12th of January, even not the year, just the date, 12th of January. I was here 24 hours after the earthquake, and I saw the devastation of the city. After the earthquake, we start to see camps build up all over the city in the parks. Today, we don't see these camps. The government don't want you to see these camps. The government relocate the people outside of the city. But the problem over there is that it's really hard to live over there. It's still poor, with no water, no electricity, no healthcare, and no way to make a living. They have to drive back to Port-au-Prince to make their living. And sometimes they don't even have the money for the transportation. Everybody living that day, the 12th of January, everybody in every aspect of their life, they living that day, 12th of January. It's a mark on every person in Haiti.
Well, loads of international funds were sent for reconstruction. Do you see any of the results?
Of course, in the first year, the international community donate a lot of money to Haiti. It was the natural reaction after a devastation that happened in this country. Haiti from the beginning is a country with a lot of poverty. This earthquake gave a small window of opportunity to rebuild Haiti to be a better place. But what I see until now, it's some buildings of houses, a rebuilding of offices, and the parks that was full of camps are now blooming with flowers. But for long-term projects, no, they don't have the money. The international community don't donate any more money to something that they don't feel and see right away.
Does the local population still have any hope for the future, Nadav?
Right now, Haiti is still in poverty. Haiti don't have the money to come out and to stand on their own feet after this devastation. Haiti needs the help of the world, and the world a little bit ignore it 5 years after. They don't remember the devastation that happened here.
Well, it's all for Insight this week at I-24 News. I'm David Matlin. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next week.